Coach Julius said, you guys didn't have the focus or the fight in that first LSU game, and he said he was embarrassed by it. The guys were embarrassed by it. You sense that they are especially motivated to play this group again?
I would imagine LSU's really motivated to play this one again too. So, they outplayed us. Johnny O'Brien was really good, but he wasn't the only guy that outplayed us. They out-rebounded us. They out-coached us. They outran us. They got us in transition defense. They got us every which way but loose. And the only reason the game wasn't 20 is because we made 3 threes, bankers, or it would have been a 20-point game. So I'm anxious to see how we'll play against them, but it's not like they got worse. LSU got better, so it's going to be a hard game.
How much better are you?
We'll see. We'll throw it up tomorrow and we'll find out.
Have you had a focus or fight issue quite to that level since that game? Has all that been bad?
It was just a tough trip. The weather, are we going to play, are we not going to play? And then we came out against an inspired team. How their fans found the arena, I have no idea. I thought there'd be 200 people at that game. And it ends up being a rowdy crowd. So, and look, give them credit. They played. LSU is a really good team. It's like I've said about Tennessee and LSU and other teams in our league. I mean, Missouri, it amazes me when people beat each other in other leagues. It shows how strong their league is. And when we beat each other in our league up there, the league's not very good. What? I mean, I don't get it, but we'll see. They're really good.
Julius's numbers are starting to trend back upward, especially after the other night. What have you seen in this progress?
He's playing less minutes and he's passing more.
James told us that the first time around against LSU, he heard from some guys, whether it was either on this team that had played him before, that LSU doesn't play as hard as they did. He said he wants to give some payback this time around, that they're not going to be taken lightly.
Play the game. Throw the ball up. I mean, we're going to find out where we are. They were good yesterday. Let's have a great practice today. Let's just keep, our chemistry and our energy and our will to win for each other and for the team is, what we're focused on, and being more team-driven, individual, being player-driven versus being coach-driven. We're on that a lot. So, but the guys are responding. They're doing pretty good.
Does talk about motivation and payback and all, does that sort of annoy you?
It's not, well, the whole thing for me is, and the hardest thing when you're dealing with young players is you have to get them to think different. Their inner dialogue, that it's geared for us, not themselves. That they stay in a positive light. Their inner dialogue. I'm going to the foul line. Oh my God, I'm going to miss this. I don't think. Well, you won't believe this. You're going to miss that. Or I can do this. I can't wait to shoot these. Foul me. And young guys, especially when they're thrown in this mix, you can get that inner dialogue whacked out. Some of it's been because you never have had inner dialogue for anybody other than your own game. And now that's got to begin to change. So these guys have done good. They're making the strides we want. But this is a hard game for us. It's going to be a tough one.
When you put on the tape of the first half the other night, what did you see?
A team that ran really fast and a team that passed the ball to each other early. That played so fast that we turned it over some. Yet were really aggressive, communicated defensively. Like I said, that start and even the beginning of the second half. And there were 3-4 minutes in that game where we backed up and had mental breakdowns. But short of that, we played. And even at the end of the game, the last, minute and a half. So
you live with some turnovers if you get if it gets you the
well,
position?
yeah. I mean, again, there are good turnovers and there are bad turnovers. We had some bad ones. We have some players that aren't great handling the ball, passing, and you hope they don't pass much. But if they do, they're gonna turn it over some. But each of them, you know, they came together, they did it for each other. The locker room had energy after the game. You know, I said you had fun because you played fast, you played aggressive, and you were into each other. But it's hard to sacrifice, you know, and give up. You don't try. Are you going to give up as much as I give up? Or am I the only one giving up? And it becomes that inner dialogue and that fight from within to get them to all lay it out there for each other. You're going to find out. Like I said, Julius is playing less minutes, taking less shots, passing more, and his numbers are really. How can that be? It's a dogfight to get him to get that. Not just him, all of them. So, but they're getting it.
Cal, is it better free throw shooting as a team or just the people that are going to the free throw line?
Well, Willie's shooting better, really confident in him. Julius is shooting better. Just can't have terrific shooters go 1 out of 2, 1 out of 2, 1 out of 2, front end one-on-one when the other team's going make, because you're going to get beat, especially against good teams.
Cal,
So,
what were you saying to Julius when you were making the really strange face that is going viral on the internet? I'm sure you've seen it.
I think he was telling me, Coach, I really love you. And I went, what? I think that's what it was.
Trust your memory?
I've been wrong before.
78. Right?
78,
Yeah.
1978.
Have you by any chance seen the video of yourself where a taco is being inserted in your mouth?
I don't look at that stuff. Come on.
A handful of games into it, how do you feel about the zone that you guys have been fairly effective with?
They made 4 baskets in a row. It's funny, people that want us to play zone, it's kind of like coaching a kid and being positive 80% of the time, and he only remembers
20%.
that you get on him. So the zone people out there see every stop and don't realize that Mississippi was getting back in the game because they made 4 straight baskets in a row versus the 3. But I'm getting better at teaching it. I'm getting better at understanding it. I was just with a former player of mine from UMass, and he said, I can't believe you're playing zone. He said, we never worked against zone. I don't know how we scored against zone because we couldn't even put a zone in. I told him, stand around and put your arms up. And if someone goes by, you kind of switch. So, you know, this is a good, I'll tell you who's the best zone player I've seen is Aaron. He's like, I'm calling him the cat now. Team's laughing there, but I show on the tape, man, he's like a cat. And he goes out with his arm, but then you watch his brother, and he's not a cat. And I said, you won't believe this, Andrew. Your arm is as long as his arm. You can do the same. So, you know, I'll tell you who else is good in the zone, is Jared. It's good in the zone. So, you know, it's helped us. I'm not arguing the point, but I do know this. Tony Barbie said to me, you're good in zone, Coach, but when you switch everything, it's a one-on-one game. There's nothing else we can do. When you play zone, you know they're always going to be able to get off a 3 at any point. Now, if they're making them, you lose. Well, what if it's it could be a deep 3 that they're making. But when you're playing man and switching, it means they're taking a contested shot. So, but it's a good change-up. You know, it's a good defense for us. It's been good, and we've worked on it every day, which, you know, is not something I've done in the past, but we're working at it and trying to give these guys the best opportunity they can to win.
Does it feel apocalyptic for you that you're,
What's that?
You're using this much zone?
No, I would love to be a zone coach. I'm telling you. Tell me why. How much do you have to really prepare for? Not against zone. How many things can you really do against zone? Screen the ball, high-low, 3 out, 4 out for all you basketball bennies that have no idea what I'm talking about. There's not a whole lot you do against zone, and everybody does the same thing. 5 or 6 things you can do. You can't put a 6 guy out. You can't put guys standing in. I mean, there's 5 or 6 things. I would love to be a guy that could do that. That's just not me. But We're using it. It's been effective. If there was a game that I thought we'd have to play the whole game to play zone to win the game, I'd do it.
If you had your best players for 2 years, would you do it?
What was
I said
that?
if you had your best players for 2 years, would you?
I did ask, they're talking about it going to 2, and I've called to see if we could have that, immediately. But
You say you're a better coach, zone coach. Is there anybody you've relied on or talked to try to?
well, Rob at Eastern Michigan was the one who came in and really, gave me the breakdowns and the drill work, because you can't just do it. You got to break it down. You got to do it. You got to give them an idea of what they have to do. And then I would call them. Jim Boeheim and I talked, and I said, I played your zone. He said, I watch it. He said, you should play more zone. And he says, every time your team gives up a 3, you go back man to man. And he said, but if the other team makes 3 threes in your man, you don't go zone. He said, but he's, I've studied it and put it in, and, to be a good zone offensive team, to be honest with you, you got to have a good zone in defensively so you can work. And we're probably better versus zone than we are man. But we will see. All right, thanks, guys.